Another feature when we go to the Send tab that you may or may not have noticed is this A/B testing. Now, what is A/B testing? You might look at it and say, oh, yeah, I have no idea. Maybe it's not something I'd be interested or not. In actuality, it's really it's a smart test. It's a smart type of test to use to really compare. And you're comparing, different subject lines maybe, or maybe different from fields and so forth. And let's look at this for a second. Because what you can do here, and I'm just going to create an A/B test, and you can use this anytime. Hit go. We're going to ask, okay, Kat, what kind of test type are you going to do? And this gives you the opportunity if you're wondering, what subject line should we use when we send this message out? What's going to bring the most opens and clicks? What's going to engage that recipient more? Will it make a difference, if we use a different subject line, if we use a different from field, or maybe if we use different messages? Maybe I might put the link on top versus putting that link, the call to action, in the middle. Does it make a difference? And this A/B testing allows you to do this. So A/B testing traditionally indicates to me it's two groups, A/B. Could you have more than two groups you want to test? Yes, you can. Typically, just to keep it simple, I use two. But once I do, I hit submit. We'll compare subject lines. We're going to know, okay, great. We're going to set it up. We're going to divide it up for you. You say, okay, great. So we're going to need one group to divide it up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a portion from that one group. We're going to pull a random selection of a percentage of that group or a number of that group. And we're going to send that email with different subject lines. And then we have tracking that will compare it. It's a great tool to utilize and so forth. I think a lot of people just are not aware of it, or they look at it and they're like, oh, I wouldn't even know how to begin. It's super simple. Just, you find your source group that you want to send to, for instance, your message, and we'll just choose the same one that we saw earlier right here. And that's so what this means is when we pull those random people that we're going to send this, subject line 1 to, send the message to, it's all have to be pulled from the same group. Now, some people like to send, like, they split it half and half, Well, that's good, but typically what we do, we like to pull a percentage of that main group, of that source group, see what the data is, see what the tracking captures, and from there make the decision for the remainder of the group, we're going to use that subject line that had the higher opens or the higher clicks. And just real simple, you choose that source, you just find your target group. Now, it has percentage or other. Just to let you know what this is, do you want us to just randomly select a percentage in this group, like 20%, 10%, 50%, and so forth? And of course, it depends how many people are in your group and so forth. Or you can choose a number and just choose, 100 if you'd like, or 50, or 25, depending on the group. And then you can, from there, once you said, yeah, I want you to randomly select 25 people from the group, what will you do with this group? Do you want to add them to an existing group, or do you want to call them, perhaps a new group name? It could be something like this right here. And then the next thing down here, the second test that I'm going to do, which makes sense, I'm going to call it group number 2. And I hit submit. But before I hit submit, just getting an idea. This is the test name. This is what we're testing. We want to compare a subject line. We're going to take one group, which is called the Real Magnet Master Group, and actually, test 2 groups from that. We're going to pull randomly 25 people from the source group, each one right here, and hit submit. So, but here's the thing, it doesn't happen automatically. What you just did was you set the configurations up. Now you have to go through here and actually submit the message for testing. But once you do that, and it's syncing, I like to show you the tracking for that. Right here, here's the first thing right here. So here's target group 1. So you just add recipients, the from field. This is what you want to test. Your first subject line you want to test. Again, it's a great way to compare subject lines. It's a very well-known marketing tool. But what it comes down to is the tracking. So you go to the track tab, you go to A/B testing, and just kind of show you, an example that was used a while ago. But you get the idea that you can compare in red what's been tested, and you can see opens, delivered, clicks, and so forth. And we ended up using this one right here, this subject line right here. It had the higher opens and the higher clicks. So again, this is kind of an interesting feature to use. If you haven't thought about using it, I would suggest do so. At least try it out and see how it works. And if you have questions about this as you're doing this, there is something in tutorial under Help Me right here on A/B testing, as well as always can reach out to our customer support team. And that is A/B testing.